Conscious. I'm Amanda Jane, and in this video, this is part 2 on relationship advice for unhappy couples who work together. Now, hopefully you watched the last video, and of course, if you stick around to the end of this video, if you do not yet have my 7-step Live Now formula that helps you live your dreams in health, wealth and happiness, stick around to the end of this and you can get your hands on that absolutely free. This is the exact same formula that I created and live my life by, and so do thousands of other people who now not just dream about their dreams, but actually live their dreams. So let's get into part 2. On the last video, I talked about divvying up your jobs in the workplace, especially if you're in business together. I've been in business with my husband for something like 16 years. We've had 14 different businesses together, and I understand that there is friction when you work together and play together. But of course, at the end of the day, this is about staying together, having a happy and harmonious life for as long as you can. And sometimes business gives you so much pressure that you take the stresses home and you start squabbling. And sometimes, because I've been in this boat myself, you start to go in a downward spiral and you feel that there's no way out. Let me assure you that if you follow the formula, especially the Live Now formula that I'm going to give you at the end of this video, you will climb out of that hole of frustration and anxiety and sometimes even depression, because I get that business has its own pressures, even more so sometimes than personal relationships. So after my husband and I divvied up all of our jobs inside of our business into color codes, we took responsibility, we made a commitment, and we stuck to those. We really stuck to those colors each and every day. And so instead of arguing each and every afternoon, we'd check in with each other and we'd say, how did you go with all the pink jobs? How did you go with the blue jobs? What happened to the purple jobs? And of course, the green jobs, which we focused on. The income coming into the business was always a priority. And that's the sort of green job that I took care of most of the time. And of course, each of us had full responsibility in our own space. But what happens after work? You know, sometimes you go to work and you're in this sort of space and you have this sort of energy going on and you've got a mask on, especially if you've got staff. We had 14 staff at one stage. And so you have this business mask on. But then what happens when you come home at the end of the day? You're now trying to be a partner. You might be a mum or a dad, a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a lover or a friend, and interacting with your family. And you've got this work mask on, but then when you go home, it's a different mask. And sometimes you lose your way. I understand that because that was my story as well. But here's the thing. Another thing that saved our marriage, and we've been married now for 22 years and mostly happy. Of course, like every couple, we have our ups and downs, our good days and our bad days, but that is normal because life is not one-sided, of course. But here's what we did to overcome that stress of, wondering, how do we go from our business mask to our everyday mask? We sat down and wrote out lists of agreements. Things in our life that we no longer wanted to tolerate, things that we wanted to achieve together. And, we made these commitments and we wrote out our big chief aim and the things that we used to dream about. And also to really dissolve any angst and any arguments, what we would try and do each afternoon is not just talk about work. Now, work and business is a massive part of our life, and maybe it is a massive part of yours as well, but we also focused on the fun things. We would make plans for travel, and even, when we first started business, we didn't have much money and we couldn't afford to go overseas or anything, so we used to plan picnics in the park. We used to plan long walks along the beach. We used to plan just watching movies and going out on dates and finding ways to keep the fun in your life. And this is the problem for most people. They take life so damn seriously, they forget to have fun and adventure. So ask yourself, what fun and adventure do you have planned with your partner? The other thing that we did is, because we work together all day, we play together, we're married, you know, we made sure that each of us had our own separate lives, as in our own friends. And I would go out with my friends occasionally, maybe once a week, once a fortnight. He would do the same and go out for a card night or to the movies, or just to get away from not to get away from the relationship, but to get away and just be normal for a while. Because if you are in business and you work together, you will know exactly what I'm saying. Sometimes business can really entrap you into a certain way of thinking and a certain way of being. But here's the truth. At the end of the day, we are all seeking freedom, we are all seeking happiness, and we are all seeking balance. And if you just focus on work and you get really rigid, then there's no balance. Take the time, and this is another thing that we do every day. We take the time each morning to work on our health. So we go to the gym every day. My husband goes surfing almost every day. I go to the beach almost every day. Maybe for you, it might be a walk around the block, a walk in the country, a bush walk, whatever suits you. Make sure you get out and you touch with Mother Nature. Take a moment for yourself. Then we have a breakfast together. Before we get into our work day, we don't turn on the phones when we wake up. We allow ourselves to have at least 2 hours without turning on the phones, without looking at emails, without letting the day take over our life. Now, this might sound simplistic to you, but I can assure you from all the people that I have mentored that sometimes the phone and the emails really ruin relationships, because what happens is you're allowing everybody else's problems and everybody else's stuff to overtake what's important for you. So my advice is to make sure you take the time to make lists of things you want to achieve in your life. You tick them off every day. Work on your top 3 priorities each and every morning that are important and meaningful for you, and that are taking you steps closer to your dream outcome. And take the time just to be. Spend time with each other, just being normal human beings. Move the business to the side and be grateful for the moments. I think that's a really big thing, is just learning to be grateful for the moments and the special times before your business, your staff, and the workday takes over. So gorgeous. I hope you took down some notes there. Again, be sure to subscribe to my channel, ring the bell so that you are notified each and every Thursday when I keep bringing out empowering videos that will help you follow my 7-step Live Now formula that gives you a life by design in health, wealth, and happiness. Okay, I look forward to seeing you on the next video, gorgeous. Bye for now.